everybody, welcome to Friday Night Chats with Kelly and Kevin, your friendly neighborhood Rose family. Hey, you know what a kid told me today?
What's that?
He said, I know why you're named Mrs. Rose. And I said, why is that? And he said, because you smell like roses.
Oh.
And I was so sweet.
Yeah.
It was
That's
sweet.
very nice. Very nice.
So anyway, we're back.
We're back. Hopefully back on a regular schedule on a regular basis. And, barring unforeseens in life happening, we'll stick to the Friday night deal. And,
Let you in on a little secret. It's not Friday. We're recording on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because we have plans on Friday.
Yeah.
But you won't see this until Friday night. So I
Yeah.
really didn't need to tell you that.
Yeah.
But who knows what's going to happen tomorrow that you might have to miss out on until next week.
Yeah. Until next week. Yeah.
So happy April Fool's Day, a day late for those of you watching on Friday.
Yeah, that's why we're recording early.
All right. So our weekly wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I didn't think we had anything to talk about, but we have a whole little list here.
A whole little list.
Yeah.
The big thing, well, not the big thing, but the one of the things is that we got the Georgia family coming, Jen and Paul and the boys coming up, and getting the house ready for that, cleaning up and whatnot.
We haven't had any visitors in a year.
Yeah.
And we are not the type that's like, oh, we don't have anything else to do, let's clean.
No.
We're the type that's like, oh, no one's coming in our house for a long time. Why do I have to clean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's that.
The McGuff clan is coming for spring break. And we're trying to get the house up to par. Up to
visitor par.
So that's I can't lie. I haven't been busy doing that. But that's what Kevin's been busy doing, and Mom and Dad have been busy doing. So
yeah.
I've been wrangling kittens.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So getting the house ready.
And then today I took Tilly to her yearly vet visit, and that was not fun. I hate taking Tilly to the vet because she doesn't like it. That's a big thing for her. And a couple things happened that were interesting. First of all, we got this nice little vet's office, and they are very COVID ready or aware people. So you can't just walk into their office with your dog. You set the appointment, you park, you call the little number, they come out and pick the pup up and whatever. So I got out the car and took Tilly because she had to go to the bathroom. And we bought her this new harness because I don't even know what happened to her last harness, but she ran right out of it. She wasn't even trying. She just ran right out of it. And I was like, oh, my God. And the vet's place is right next to General Booth, which is a busy road. And I'm just flashing all kinds of, holy shit, I'm about to lose my dog. So I'm running and I'm, and she realized this is not safe. And she stopped, thank God. And I picked her up. And
I have PTSD from this because when she was younger puppy, we had her in a harness and we're taking her for a walk, and she pulled out of the harness and took off running, and we chased her all over. And all I could think was she's going to go down the sewer drain, or she's going to crawl under someone's fence, or some other dog's going to get her, or she's going to run out in the street.
Yeah.
And
the perils of owning a Chihuahua.
Yeah. Oh.
Because with a bigger dog, they're not, they can't get into as much. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, they can,
but not they're like Libby was never going to fall down.
You can see where the big dogs go.
Chloe was never going to, crawl under somebody's fence. I mean, Chloe was built like a tank. She could have busted through our back door without even.
Chloe would have come back too.
Yeah, Chloe would have come back.
Tilly doesn't come back, but so I don't like harnesses, and I don't know. I refuse to do it.
She's a little Houdini of a dog.
Yeah.
Collars, doesn't matter. She slips right out of them. So.
But she's like a 16-pound dog, and her vet bill was $500.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. She had 4 shots.
There's nothing even wrong with her.
The likelihood is that she's not going to make her normal appearance because she's just not feeling it.
She's a drama queen, and whenever she gets vaccinations, she shakes and she looks at you like you're the worst human on the planet for making her go through that.
That's tough. This is why I couldn't be a parent, because I can't. I mean, it was kind of a good thing I wasn't in the room with her, because last year when I took her, it was
in the room where it happened.
Yeah, it was. I felt I was like, oh my God, they're hurting my dog, and I was like, I don't want to beat the hell out of this guy, but I really wanted to beat the hell out of the guy, and then it was like, and then she's just.
Yeah, she's a drama queen. She takes after her
I can't even imagine what it is for you dads out there with kids. No, I can't do that. There's no way. There's no way.
No way.
No way.
But anyway, she's healthy and everything's fine. She had Bordetella, flu, I don't know, a few other vaccines.
Up to all of her medicine.
All of her medicine for 6 months, which is what really cost the most money.
Yeah.
Most of that bill was just her flea and tick medication for 6 months.
Flea tick, heartworm, and then and they gave her. They did a little bit of blood work. They always do a little bit of blood work.
Oh, I didn't know they did blood work. They put it on the.
Oh, really?
We have pet insurance, and I already put the claim in, but I didn't put in for blood work because I didn't see that she had blood work.
I think they did a little bit of blood work, and they sent me home with a little thing to pick up a stool sample, which that's going to be a suck day, but what are you going to do, right?
Worse things have happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, Tilly's vet's been the big.
That's the big thing this week.
It's been a slow week, thankfully. We needed a slow week.
Yeah, after the last week, which, you don't remember, go back to the last episode.
Yeah.
And the episode before that, actually, we needed a little time off. And then the boys are coming, and that's always...
gearing up. We're gearing up.
But at the same time, like...
And he's on vacation for 10 days now.
Yeah, that was nice.
So he doesn't go back.
Finished up my last 10-hour shift, which hopefully I won't do a 10-hour shift for a while. You do technical support for a very long time, like I've been doing like over 20 years, 18 of that with Cox, and actually more than 20 years now. 10-hour shifts are tough. I thought it would be great, and it was for a while, but...
it has a trade-off, is you get 3 days off during the week.
Yeah. But I like the new schedule because I get off at 4:30, which is basically you'll be walking in the door and I'll be off.
That's nice.
And then we have... like a life together at this point, Yay!
We have a life together.
Yeah, that's nice.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. So, but that starts. I should have looked at a calendar before we got on, but it starts not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after the boys.
When it goes by April 10th.
April 10th. Yeah, there you go.
And I only know that because my spring break is next week also. And so I have to work a half a day tomorrow. I get off at 1:30-ish. In all honesty, probably right as soon as the buses leave out of the bus loop. I'll be getting myself out of there, but then I'm off until that's the week we're off to. So I just know the date. So anyway, work this week, since I was out all last week, and I've got a room full of boys. I've talked about that before. Rambunctious boys. And we were listening back to our old, our previous episodes. And I was talking in one about my flash of brilliance, where I moved the cabinet to block the sight line between these two boys in my room.
Very proud of herself.
I was so proud of myself. Well, it was a train wreck. You want to talk about failure of epic proportion. And it was funny listening back to it because I was like, the first day they didn't even know why I did it. But the second day they kind of figured out why I moved this cabinet so that these two boys couldn't see each other anymore. Okay, so by like the fourth day, they started paying me back for that. And boy, I have to give it all to my teacher, my teaching assistant who was there all week. And right now it's really hard to secure substitutes in the school system. So you never know if there's going to be a sub that shows up. So she was with a different person pretty much every day. And then one day, whole day by herself, with kindergartners is just tough. And it was a Thursday, which are tough anyway, because we don't have a break. All their little special activities are in the classroom. So it's like, you just don't get, 10 minutes. But so these two boys just decided, one a little more than the other, but they were going to make us sorry we made that decision. And it got really bad. It started getting really bad the few days before I left. And then the week I was gone, it was not good. So getting back to work and like trying to get, the reins in on that situation, which we're working out, but it hasn't been as bad this week. At this point, I did something. I decided to just put those two boys together at a table. And I said, you can work together as long as you are staying focused and you're respecting the learning environment and, all the positive spin you put on rather than saying just don't mess up and misbehave. And it was tough. It was tough. And then today, I didn't even tell you this. One of them ended up in the nurse because they were goofing and he fell and hurt his leg, which, that's just not bad. It was not that bad. But anyway, mom decided she wants him separated from that other one. And so,
oh no.
Yeah. So I'm literally like, what do I do? Because I really haven't given them together at the table long enough to make a difference. And it was trying, but we didn't have any of the big explosive problems from the week before. So there was progress. It just isn't perfect and it's never going to be perfect. But now like the parents are wanting them separated and it just puts a whole, because you're like, what do I do?
Maybe get them all in a chat and, just with all the two sets of parents and well, not sets because one of them is just kept
the thing is I have to make it work with the kids because they have to have that rapport with me.
Yeah.
Their parents aren't there all day.
Yeah, but if they specifically say keep that guy away from my kid.
Yeah, but I'm not getting into that.
Oh, okay.
That won't happen.
I don't know.
Here's what I did. I had the whole class and I said to one of the two, if you could choose anywhere in the whole room, where would you sit? Like what area, what place would be your favorite place? And he said where it was. And I'm like, all right, we'll go sit over there. And then everyone else stand up and you get to choose a new seat. And I just said, you two can just not be at the same table. And so they chose seats close, but not together. Okay. And they were a lot better today. They were a lot better today. So it's like whatever works on that one day.
Yeah, compromise. But compromise worked for today anyway.
It worked for today. It got us through today without any big problems. And I got to put 2 smiley faces on some things. So, go home to parents. That was good. But yeah, sometimes the flash of brilliance in the moment can really like set off this ripple effect of behaviors, especially with 5-year-olds. They're like little lawyers because they will figure out the loopholes and everything. And, we just didn't see that. And looking back on it, like when I looked back, like what started this, because it just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, the only thing that I can think that we did differently was we moved that cabinet. And sometimes just the simple thing, just those ripples get big over time and start making you think like you can't do your job and it's all you and you're making all the wrong decisions and second guessing everything and like staying up at night worrying about what to do. And am I going to have a big behaviors from now until June? So, but I think we're on the right track.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I've known from just you teaching 5-year-olds for the last 10 years or so is that they either will hit you with the most clear, basic logic. It's amazing. Or something that's so imaginative. You're like, wow. It blows your mind.
It's just like the one I told you. Mm-hmm. One of the kids, I was talking to another teacher when the kids were coming in this morning. And we were talking, and one of my kids walked up to us, and he just stood there, and she said, yeah, what do you need? And he goes, the sooner we get this started, the sooner we can get out of here. And it was so funny because both of us were like, you're exactly right. Exactly. Let's just do it. Let's just get to it. So there are moments like that where it's just really sweet. And like these two that have been causing the trouble are like the ones that I care about all my kids, but like I really want to see them succeed. And so it's just you're trying and you feel like you're making progress and you feel like you've made a connection, and then one little thing happens and you're questioning everything. So that's just teaching in general, though. But all in all, it was a good day. We had fun. And we played Who Is That Baby today, and they loved it. So showed baby pictures of each other.
And then the one last thing that happened today, as we're recording on April 1st, technically, because what I do is when I go to pick Kelly up, I'll go to Starbucks and pick up, whatever. And she started drinking iced tea, and I'll get coffee, Pikes Peak with cream and Splendor, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And I order on the app because I don't want to deal with the whole swiping the card or giving.
Plus, we earn stars for free stuff.
Yeah, and I use those stars. I learned to use those stars.
Remember when you found you had like 700 stars or something?
It was you were like, "Holy cow!"
We could drink free coffee for like 6 months.
It was crazy, and I'm still get some free. I mean, I'm still got some. But anyway, I get up to the window, the speaker, and the girl was like, "Oh, thank you for stopping at Chick-fil-A." I was like, Chick-fil-A? She said, "Oh, no, we're just kidding. It's April Fools." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm here to pick up an order for Roy, a mobile order for Roy." She said, "Oh, all right, hold on. We're looking it up." And I said, "Well, I got you. I'm Kevin." And she said, "You're the best customer today. That's hilarious. You got me."
They could have gave you your coffee free.
Yeah, well, they didn't do all that, but they but the girl was like laughing about it the whole time and got up to the window and she was still talking about it. So that was cool. I made somebody's day.
Yeah,
that's my goal. My basic goal every day is to make her day, get her to laugh or smile, and I'm 99% successful. There's very few days where I haven't been able to pull it off, but. When I can also get the bonus where I'm making somebody else's day, or even if it's just for a couple minutes, that's my that's my deep. I love that.
Starbucks. I've been trying to give up Starbucks for a long time, just because I drink a lot of calories at Starbucks, and it's just not good. My body has finally said enough is enough. And I'm starting to make some connections between how I'm feeling in the evening. And so I had a day, I was like...
Yeah, you were having a rough couple days.
Really in like pain and having all kinds of trouble. And then today I was like, you know what? I know I have a hiatal hernia. I don't know if that's how you say it. Maybe all of the stuff that I'm feeling... is from that. And I did what I shouldn't do, but I Googled it, and every single symptom that I have had over the last couple weeks.
A quick thing, don't WebMD or Google symptoms or stuff,
really
because
do it.
Almost everything is going to lead to cancer.
I'm going to tell you, don't do it.
Because everything, she used to do it a lot more, and everything was cancer.
And now my head is WebMD. She cut herself,
and it said, "You have cancer." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, see, this night, I can't remember what night this week it was. I felt fine all day long. I think it was Tuesday. Went to Starbucks, got an iced coffee, came home, and like within a half an hour after I started drinking coffee, I really started feeling sick.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. I didn't even get off. Kevin made me soup for dinner. I'm like, oh my gosh. Didn't sleep at all that night because the anxiety starts going. And then I'm like, maybe I'm having this problem. Maybe I'm having, it's just like all of this stuff. But today I think I've figured out that it's probably, every freaking symptom was the hernia symptom. Mm-hmm. But I think it's triggered by the caffeine in the coffee.
Yeah.
And my weight. Seriously, I need to lose weight. But I think they go hand in hand. So if I stop drinking at Starbucks. But the thing is, I switched to tea. That has caffeine in it. I don't have the problem. But
it's not as much caffeine. Tea does not have as much caffeine as coffee.
Sorry, Starbucks. If you have, stock in Starbucks, sorry.
Man, we're screwing up the economy.
I know. First QVC and now Starbucks. But they do have good tea.
Yeah.
So, it's not as expensive, but.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. So we'll save a little bit of dough.
Anyway, just the boring life that we lead this week. Not really anything major going on. So we're good with that. But we do have a few shout outs.
We have shout outs this week.
So our first shout out has been a shout out of ours before, But we're shouting him out today because today is his first day of official retirement. And so we'd
Troy.
like to shout out
to Troy.
He is retired from...
well, I didn't show you. I don't know if I can show it on
I wouldn't.
I'm going to show you just so you see it. But
okay.
I don't want to... There it is.
You got to retire to get a real size one.
Yeah, but it says, retired on it.
Oh, congratulations. A retired deputy sheriff.
A while back, Troy was showing us his new badge. Apparently, they were giving new badges out. And it was just like it looked like a toy badge. And we've
teased him about it for years. I mean, it was funny, but they gave him a real size one now that he's retired. So.
Yeah. Now you're a big boy now. You can get the big badge.
So that's awesome. I mean, don't we all just want to be retired? And if I know Troy won't stay retired very long, but
well, he's not going to be a sheriff's deputy anymore, but he'll be doing something because he's just a good guy and wants to help people out.
Oh, we got the shout outs too fast. See, the arrow didn't work.
The arrow didn't work at all. But let's
that's why I redo the list. My friends make fun of me. And Kevin does too. If I'm writing a grocery list and I get something out of order, I literally will start all over again. Because I have to have the things in the right order.
We're not recording anymore. We're going to keep going. We're going.
I'm not going to stop the recording, but I'm just saying, as I was writing out the list of things we wanted to talk about, we have a new segment tonight called Story Time. And Kevin's like, oh, we'll put that in between this and that. And then I just drew an arrow and I knew, and look what I did. I just hopped right over. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, then this won't make complete sense, but.
Well, no, we're going to go to Story Time. And then we'll come back and finish shout outs.
All right. So we'll do shout outs part 2 in a little bit.
Part duh.
Duh. So, and this is where the swipe will come in for story time.
Okay.
All right. So this is a story we've been promising for a while now, for almost since episode 1. But it's my Richard Kharma story, Richard Sclatt. He's one of my best friends. I have 2 best friends. I have Richard Sclatt and I have Charles Reeves, or Chuck Reeves. I call him Chuck. And both of them have been a big part of my life. They were both groomsmen for me. And the thing of it is, I don't see them on the regular. I don't even, especially during the pandemic, I don't even call them or talk to them all that often. But if I needed them, I could text them and they would be here. And I have no doubt of that. And they should know that if they text me, I'm dropping whatever and I'm there. So that's just how that is. But one day he knew I was off. I was off it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. I can't remember. This was long before I met Kelly.
Yes.
It was way before Kelly. But I had
the good old days.
Well, no. I mean, I had nothing to do. He calls me up and he's like, "Man, I'm having a really bad day and I need to get out of this office for my lunch break. I need you to come pick me up." I'm like, "Sure." Get in the car. This is way back when I was living out in Suffolk, so it was like a 45-minute drive for me. Pick him up, and at the time he was working. His office he was at was on Lynnhaven,
South Lynnhaven.
Yeah, it was like you could see Kelly's school from there. It was crazy if you think about it. But anyway, pick him up. He gets in the car. Immediately, he's just talking about how shitty his day is, like going on and on and on and on and on. And we go get to lunch. And he's still going on and on and on. And I'm listening, but after a while, somebody's just ranting about their day. You just kind of tune it out and you're like, oh, I'm just eating food. And I'm driving. And he's going on and on and on. And at the time, I was driving my 2000 Dodge Avenger, which is one of my all-time favorite cars that I've had. But that's a different thing. Anyway, I used to drive with the windows down all the time because I just, AC was just not my thing. I just like to have the windows open. It was a nice day out. And I'm driving him back to his office. And he goes, this is where I know karma exists. Because he said the words, "My day can't get any worse." And then what happened was, in the back of the seat of my car, and I didn't know I had this, but I had an empty Food Line bag, like one of those little plastic grocery bags. The wind picked it up and then flew the bag right between us in the air. And I caught the glance of it in my peripheral vision. And I am one of those, no litter. I've never littered, never been big on it. So I'm thinking, oh my God, this bag's about to go out in the world. I got to grab it. So I just, without even thinking about it, I'm just like, and I do this number to grab the bag, but I connected dead on to his side of his head, right in his eye, and he was like, "God damn it, what are you hitting for?" I was like, "I'm sorry, dude, I had to get this back." And he was like, "Oh my God."
The moral of the story.
Don't ever say your day can't get any worse. Something can't get
around
any worse.
Kevin anyway.
Don't say it at all. Don't, because you know what? Going back through that other episode, you were saying how things couldn't get any worse, and then it did, because we were talking about the car, and the light came on in the car right after you said, "What's gonna take the place of mine?"
Yeah, what's gonna fill the void?
Yeah, what's gonna fill the void? Because everything's good right now, so something's got to go wrong, and then bam, literally,
yeah, and really,
the light comes on
way south right after that.
Yeah. So never
don't
say
it.
My day, my week, my year can't get any worse, because karma's going to come for you hard. So there's that.
There is that.
And then you were going to tell a story.
Yeah, well, when Kevin and I got married, when we were talking about our wedding reception, Kevin said there's one song I do not want at our wedding reception, and that was the chicken dance. And I was like, whatever, that I'm fine with that. He hates it. Kevin doesn't dance anyway. He's not a dancer.
It's not safe for the people around me. It really isn't. I mean, I'm not even kidding. It's like a train wreck or a wrecking ball out in the middle of the floor.
And I'm not either. I mean, I dance in my seat and all, but
yeah.
But anyway, fast forward to our big trip to Tennessee. So we didn't take a honeymoon proper, like right after. But we did take a pretty nice trip to Tennessee
Epic
one
trip.
summer. And so we did Chattanooga. That's where the Incline Railway thing came in. And then we went to Nashville. And originally, we were going to stay at the Grand Ole Opry Hotel. And it got flooded out in May of that year.
Yeah.
And so, of course, everything got canceled. But we ended up... did we go that year or the next year?
No, we went. We went that year. We just
went to obviously a different hotel.
Yeah, it was the Hyatt. Which, first of all, if you ever get a chance to go to Tennessee, do it.
It's the best place.
It really is.
It really is.
People are nice. Scenery is beautiful. There's stuff to find, and you can find something to do.
Yeah, and then we went from Nashville to Memphis, basically just to get to Graceland for Kevin, and so that was our
fire ants. That's another day.
So when we were in Chattanooga,
yeah,
we went on a riverboat cruise. So you go, the big paddle boats, and you go down the river, and you have dinner or whatever. So we were like, oh, that'll be fun. We'll do that. Because we live near the beach. And I know we've got a lot of rivers here, but it's just different. Mountain rivers, just different. So we'll do that. So we get there, and we get in. We sit down, and we are the youngest people by decades.
And the average age of the place was probably like 65, and it was only that because we were there. If we weren't there, it would have been 75.
Apparently, it's not something that 30s and 40s people do.
Yeah,
you have to be 60 and over. But anyway, we sat down at the table with this couple who had a daughter with Down syndrome. Granddaughter.
Yeah, it was their granddaughter.
And she was like 18 or 19. And so we were, chatting with them and everything. He starts telling me about this trip they took to the Grand Canyon. And he says, I'll show you some pictures. And he pulls out his flip phone. Yeah. And the rest of my meal was looking at this man's pictures of the Grand Canyon on the smallest flip phone screen ever.
Now, this is not so long ago that flip phones weren't laughable.
Like 2009, 10 around there somewhere.
iPhones and Droids were the medium.
Yeah.
But this guy was still rocking a small flip.
The older people like the flip phone. They just keep the flip phone.
Your dad would sell the flip phone if he needed it.
So anyway, we're looking through and talking with these people, and they start playing some music, and people get up and dance and all of this. Well, they start playing the chicken dance. So the granddaughter of the people we were sitting with wanted to dance, and somehow convinced Kevin.
Well, she's just like, you come, and she's pulling me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do this.
And you can't say no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm kind of a jerk, but I'm not an asshole.
Yeah. So you're not even a jerk. That's not even true. But anyway, so Kevin gets up on the dance floor with this young girl with Down syndrome, and he's doing the chicken dance.
Which was a mistake.
Because one of the main reasons why Kevin doesn't like to dance is because he frequently will lose his pants.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I have a drastically misshapen body. So I have this big round area up here where my gut is, and I have no ass. Like my dad, that's what I inherited from my dad, was no ass at all. It's just flat. So there's nothing holding pants up. And I should have done suspenders. Sometimes I do suspenders, but for the most part, now I've found, belts or whatever.
But even still,
well. But, I still have problems with pants.
I have problems occasionally, but he was on the dance floor with this girl and a bunch of senior citizens.
Down. Like the whole
pants down. Oh my God.
Thankfully my underwear didn't fall down, but it was still my whole underwear covered ass.
Only to be rivaled with the time we went to pick pizza up. We were trying a new pizza place. And we parked, and Kevin's like, I'll just run in and get the pizza. So he's carrying out these 2 boxes, and his pants fall in the parking lot.
So I'm doing the shimmy walk because I can't put the pizzas down. So I'm walking like right through, and this is Red Mill. It was an Italian joint off of Red Mill.
Oh, it was funny.
And so
that was
I don't have a whole lot of shame, but I got,
that was one of the shining moments of that trip, followed immediately almost by one of the more humiliating moments of that trip.
Yeah. Where so when we were leaving, we didn't really want to walk, we were like going to walk to the car, which was a good distance away. But what they were doing was, I guess it's because there's a lot, their clientele is a bunch of old folks. They had these guys running around in golf carts picking people up. So they insisted that we get in this golf cart.
There were already people in the golf cart.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hop on the back. There's like this bench seat on the back of the golf cart.
Yeah.
And the guy stops. He's like, come on, hop on. We're like, no, we're good. Like, we'll walk. No, hop on. We're good. We never should have hopped on.
Well, finally we were like, okay, we'll get on. And we sat down, and the thing sunk down to the gravel.
We literally were shooting
to the asphalt. And yeah,
we were shooting sparks.
And we're like, Jesus Christ. And you would think we were going real fast or something. We weren't. They were,
like 2 miles an hour. Yeah.
And he got to the first row of cars. There's our car right there. We got out 6 rows down.
Yeah,
we're still walking.
Like, here we are. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. And he drives off. And we're like, okay, let's walk.
Oh my gosh. That was something. Good thing we can laugh at ourselves, though.
Yeah,
right?
we can laugh at ourselves.
God, that was funny.
Hopefully you guys are laughing about it. So.
And then when we got to Memphis, that's when Kevin stepped on the fire ant nest.
Yeah.
So we do have friends that are like, we're never traveling with you because multiple times we have had hotels with the fire alarm go off in the middle of the night. It happens a lot. We went to Williamsburg the year after we were married, just for our first anniversary, and we were in 3 hotels in 2 days. So I know people that are like, we're not traveling with you because that's
when you almost choked and everything.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was really bad. Yeah.
We'll do that some other story time, but the Memphis though was
bad, humiliating near-death stories some other time.
Memphis was because we went to Graceland, which I've always wanted to go to Graceland. If you ever get a chance.
I mean, I'm not an Elvis fan, and here's what I've noticed in the car. We have satellite radio, and so I got in the car the other day, and I'm like, oh, I get one station, and all the rest of them are either news or country. And I'm not a country music fan, not really. But I guess he drives it more than me, so I can't really complain. But I'm not much of an Elvis fan. But Graceland was cool. I'm glad we went. Cool. We did have a lot of fun that day.
And we were
in the sweltering heat.
But yeah, because it was literally 124 degrees there. And the day before, we were just driving around because we knew we were going to Graceland the next day. And then we had a couple other plans. But, when it's 124 degrees and you get done with it, we were like, well.
And we went to the pool.
Yeah, it was nice at Graceland because the way they lay it out is they've got fans and whatnot even on the outside parts. But anyway.
We drove over the Mississippi.
We drove across the Mississippi.
Just to say we've been across the Mississippi River. And
we went into Arkansas.
Turn
right back around. So if you get a chance to go to Arkansas,
we didn't get far enough into Arkansas, to be fair, to make any kind of judgment on Arkansas.
But right at where there's this bridges in Memphis that goes across to Arkansas, there's this beautiful park. I mean, literally one of the best parks I've ever seen. It's just one side you get the river and it's beautiful, and the other side you get the city, which is very picturesque city. And then there's this picturesque park. It's a beautiful park. With
picturesque fire ant nests all over the place.
There's actually, you look on her Facebook, there's an album. And there's
sending people to my Facebook.
Yeah, well, there's pictures of the before, like right before, where I'm giving her a kiss. And then a picture right after where I'm obviously getting eaten up by these fire ants.
And again, I laugh at your pain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do I do
that?
I'm
getting eaten up by these things, and I'm smacking them off my feet. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm getting eaten up by something." Throwing my shoes away and everything.
We told this story. Did we tell this?
I think we partially told it. But I think we talked about Paul doing the medical search, which probably told him I had cancer.
Yeah, no. The first thing it said, step away from the nest, which was pretty evident. I mean... Yeah, you're not going to stand there and
But good advice. The 10th thing there was like, you have cancer because these ants attacked you because you had cancer.
Stop it.
That's what Google says. But anyway, so that leads us back to the shout outs, because we're going to shout out to Richard and Kate because they're good people. And I told my Richard story, and Kate always laughs at the story. Regardless, I've told that story 1,000 times. She's heard it 1,000 times, and she cracks up every time I tell her.
Okay, so if Richard's listening, I just want you to know I have retaliated for you with Kevin.
Yeah.
So he had the nerve to wake me up because I was late for work one day.
I was like, baby, it's you got to get up.
It's 7:00.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So, it was 6:30.
6:30, and I was like. He's like, I'm sorry. I was dead asleep, so. But that's what karma. It'll come and get you.
Baby, it's 6:30.
I was like, no. So anyway, and then we're shouting out Starbucks just because.
Just because they provided us with a lot of joy. They gave him a
good laugh today.
They gave me a good laugh today, and it was just good. It's a good day.
It's a good day. So one last thing. I wrote down stay hand.
Oh, yeah.
So I was reading. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I was reading through some news articles because I was like, maybe find an interesting article for something we can talk about. And I did come across one a couple weeks ago about a lady who started a GoFundMe page for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to pay off their $14.9 million house in California because they just have had such a hard time lately. And I just couldn't believe that. I was like,
no.
Yeah.
They've got a $14 million deal with Netflix. That they have, no.
They get $1 million per speaking engagement.
No, they don't need you to
go cry in a bucket of money, as Kevin would say.
Yeah.
But so
the story you found was on Michael Strahan.
The story I found was about Michael Strahan. So if you don't know you probably know who Michael Strahan is. But he's host of Good Morning America. He's a football player.
He was a football player. He did Michael and Kelly for a couple years, several years.
And he's famously known for his gap between his two front teeth.
Yeah.
It's like his thing.
It was a signature thing.
And I'm
if they did a caricature, that was like the prominent thing.
Yeah, it's the prominent thing. And I connect because I have the same. Mine is a Logan thing because I have other Logan cousins that have the same thing. So I read a story about how years ago he went to a oral surgeon or whatever, and he had them do mock-ups or something of what he would look like if they fixed his teeth. And he decided at the time he was not going to do that because there's so much pressure out there to be perfect, and all the messages coming from celebrities is you have to be perfect and everything's airbrushed. And he wanted to just be authentically him, and imperfections and all. It's just who he was.
Yeah.
Which I am like.
I respect that.
I do respect that. Just being able to say, this is me the way I am. Now, granted, there's not much on Michael Strahan. That's
Yeah.
not really the way it should be. But, you know, to just embrace that one little imperfection. That's what everybody sees when they talk to you. The story I read is he's decided he fixed it. And he tweeted out on Twitter, Gap is gone, hashtag, you know, no more Gap or something. And so I was wondering how you felt about that.
I've always been the person that I will respect somebody a lot more who will do self-deprecating humor. Rodney Dangerfield was the best ever at it, and he's still to this day one of the best ever comedians because he's willing to poke fun at himself. I have a lot of respect for somebody who doesn't take themselves so seriously that, you know, and you know, I've read that about Strahan before, where obviously, you know, this guy's got money. Money is not a problem for him. He could have had this fixed long ago, and there's probably people in his ear saying, "Man, you will go much further if you fix this." And he said, "No, I'm not. This is me, right?" So I respect that. And when I saw that, she showed that to me. I was like, "Oh my God, really, Mike? Come on."
Mike.
Like I know him, like, you know, he's my buddy or whatever. But
Mike,
you know, I'm all for do what you want to do. It's your body. I'm 100% for that. And I'm not gonna give any crap over it. But I just have my own personal thing is that I'm a little disappointed that you did that.
Well, to like take the stand and be outwardly outspoken about it.
Yeah.
That I'm not fixing it for this reason, and then
to just change your mind and do it.
You know, and again, I mean, it's him. So if he fixes his teeth, he fixes his teeth. It's his. I don't.
My first
to make any difference in my life whatsoever, but
yeah, my philosophy in life is if you want to do something and you're not going to hurt somebody else doing it, that's up to you. You benefit or pay the consequence of that action. That's your choice. And I'm all for that. If you make a bad choice and you pay the consequence, okay, that's on you. If you make a good choice and you reap some huge benefit from it, rock on, have at it.
Wouldn't it be something if he fixes his teeth and his career starts to take a turn?
And it might, you know,
because people just aren't going to connect with what what they've grown to really love about him as a news person and a celebrity and whatever.
It's just a touch of real that's now not as real.
And it does really change his face a lot.
I'm wondering if it changes his voice at all. I haven't heard him. I just saw the picture, and I don't. You know, I'm not as much of a Strahan person where I'm like watching GMA. Every morning.
We're not like watching Good Morning America every day or anything, but like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if people react to it or don't react to it. Then nowadays, people react to the littlest things that you think aren't a big deal, and they are. So, I mean, I think about if they're, certainly I have the gap in my tooth and every other thing on me that I could fix. And like, if I could just snap my fingers and change something, but nothing that I have is like, oh, that's my trademark.
Yeah.
It's just me. I'm, chiseled except for this gap in my teeth. And I guess it's just different, but I hope he wasn't pressured by like,
his people,
the media, or like news outlets that are trying to hire him, or whatever to get it done. I hope it really was.
I would think though at this point they would have been okay with it because he was very successful.
He's real popular,
the man was like the Ed McMahon and Seacrest of he had like 8 jobs and successful at all of them.
Yeah.
So I would think people would have been.
So maybe he just did it for himself. I hope so.
That's what I hope. Good luck to you, pal. Do whatever you got to do. I felt better for you when you didn't have it done. So
that's character.
Yeah, it's something.
That gap in your teeth, it's character.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it, anyway.
Yeah. Well, if I had unlimited funds, there's some dental work I'd have done, but I wouldn't do ass injections or anything like that. Even keep my pants up, but I'd probably just buy suspenders before I do ass injections.
Butt implants.
Oh my whatever God, they call
that
them.
Would be so weird.
Yeah, if I had an actual ass, yeah. I don't think that. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying I have a very misshapen body, but I think I would look even weirder with an ass. I think it would just be. It would just be crazy. It was like, think of it like a gorilla with an ass. Don't nobody want that.
Okay, wait a minute. We watched King Kong last night, and he had an ass.
Really? I didn't notice.
Okay, the opening scene we watched. I'm
Kong,
not going to say
Godzilla versus King Kong.
I didn't watch it.
Kong.
I was in the room.
Great movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to do spoilers. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was monsters fighting. You're not going to come out of it with The Secret of Life, and it's not going to win an Oscar.
I gave up on the movie in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it played, the soundtrack was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know what song it was, but it was an old it
was kind of like a 60s, like early 60s.
Yeah, like feel good, like
love, not like the love ballad
kind of song,
kind of like that, yeah.
And King Kong is like waking up, and he's stretching, and he's walking and scratching his ass.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm like, I'm done. And the few seconds that I did, like I'm listening to this mute, maybe I should open my eyes and look at it. The soundtrack didn't match. And I thought, I don't know if they did that on purpose because it was a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, there were times when the
audio wasn't matching
did
up
not quite match up to what they were saying.
And I'm wondering, was that purposeful?
I thought it was brilliant, though. I was like, because if you watch the old classic Godzilla movies, and if you have HBO Max, they have a bunch of them, and recommend watching them along with the new.
All right, the last Godzilla movie was ridiculous as well. Yeah. When the two Godzillas were like loving on each other and giving each other kisses.
See, my wife doesn't realize that that's actually 2 Godzilla movies ago.
Miss my point. It sucked either way.
Well,
they're just ridiculous.
You're not supposed to come out of it with The Secret of Life. You just watch it. You're there to watch monsters.
You know what else? You don't walk away with The Secret of Filmmaking because it was bad.
Well, it's better than Damned.
True.
Better than Open Water. If I ever get a chance to do movie reviews, Open Water is the worst movie of all time. It was the worst.
I don't know. The worst movie I've seen besides Godzilla versus King Kong recently, Kevin, because we're big, we listen to a podcast called Tell 'em Steve Dave, which apparently is based off this movie Clerks by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, the whole thing started
and
because
I've never seen Clerks. Kevin couldn't believe I've never seen Clerks. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch Clerks. I didn't watch Clerks. I watched the first 20 minutes and I'm like, this is just, I want to go to sleep. It was boring.
Mm. All right,
Nothing
everybody.
was happening.
I want comments. I want comments on if you've seen any of these movies. You've seen Clerks. If you've seen any of the Godzilla movies, I want comments. I want you to tell me what you're thinking. And, try not to do spoilers, but, I guess if it's the old classic stuff that's,
Sorry if I ruined the Kong versus, by telling you that King Kong scratched his ass in the movie.
Well, it wasn't a plot point.
I don't even know how the movie ended because I paid no attention to it.
Yeah.
So, you're getting a phone call from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, I don't even know who this person is, so they're getting hung up on.
We don't know anybody.
I don't recognize your name, you're getting hung up on. That's how I roll.
So, yeah, anyway.
But, I enjoyed the movie. I recommend it, especially if you just, don't want to think about something. You just want to watch monsters
So
fight.
Here's what it was: Kevin and me and my mom and dad. And my mom said to my dad, "Can you hear it?" Because parts of the movie were really quiet where they were talking. And then, it's like loud monsters fighting. And Dad said, no. So we turned it up. And he's like, I can hear it, but I don't understand anything that's going on. That just goes to show you.
But my mother-in-law was into it.
No sense.
My mother-in-law was into
Oh my God.
crazy
If we
movies.
went in right now and said, Mom, what'd you think about that movie? She would tell you that it sucked. But she wouldn't say that because she doesn't like that word. But she would not speak favorably about the movie.
Well, she was into the original movies, the old school Toho Godzilla movies.
I would rather watch those.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm down.
I didn't say I was going to. I said I would rather. Because there's something nostalgic and, about those old school movies. This is like you had way more at your fingertips. You know so much more now about how to make a film. And you still did this.
Well, I enjoyed it. And, Mike enjoyed it. So I bet you, the boys will like it when they're here.
I bet you they won't.
Mm.
You want to make?
I took them to see Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they enjoyed it. I mean, again, you're not walking out of a Godzilla movie with The Secret of Life. You're not. You're just entertained. You're seeing monsters fight. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's kind of like the Rocky movies. You saw the first Rocky movie. The first Rocky movie by far is the best, by far. The ones after that, it's just about watching Rocky fight. The plot lines in the story just aren't up to the original Rocky movie. But it's still a good movie.
Hey,
they're all good movies.
Speaking of that, I heard Stallone is pitching a prequel of Rocky as a child and growing into who he was in the first Rocky movie.
I don't know how that's going to work out.
That's what I heard.
Anyway. I'm looking for that money. That cheddar.
All right, guys. So we hope you have a great week.
Yep. Next week, we will probably have some pre-cut stuff.
We're going to try
along with our stuff.
We're going to try and rope some family into some conversations.
Yep. Talk to the boys. Yep. Maybe even do a little mixing with the good folks at Rusty with Words. Oh,
a collaborative
effort. Yeah.
We're moving up in the world. All right, so we're going to say this because we hear everybody say this on podcasts. Like and subscribe.
Yep.
And then also there's a little bell on our YouTube channel.
Yep. Subscribe.
Click the bell and you'll get notifications when we post new content.
And comment. I love reading comments, everybody.
I think the comments weren't an option for a little while, and now I think they're an option.
Good. Leave us some comments. Talk to us.
Let us know how you feel about Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, let us know how you feel about anything. Any of our stories, anything you want to know. Ask. Not going to promise anything because if you ask for something weird, I ain't having it. But, never hurts to ask.
You're never going to get anywhere unless you ask.
That's right.
We hit everything on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
FNC episode 5. I don't know what we're going to name it, but we'll come up with something clever.
Yeah. Gorilla ass.
Gorilla ass. That'll get you watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.